now. Okay, so we're gonna start on the second parak, right? Because how did the first parak end yesterday? Yes, someone recap the events.
Yeah, everything, like, people kept coming and like saying that like all his everything died, everything.
Yep.
And then at the end, you would expect him to like curse Hashem, but he doesn't. He praises.
Okay, good, right? And he says, Hashem nasan, Hashem lakaki, Hashem Hashem bevorach. And in terms of the why did the bad stuff happen to him?
Hashem told Satan, "Oh, look at my good guy Iyov."
Yeah.
And Satan said it's only because he has everything good. So Hashem said you could like go mess with him.
Exactly. Okay, good, excellent, right? And then just don't touch his person, right, himself. Okay, so now that side of the stage goes dark again, and we go back to the Bnei Elohim and the Satan. Okay, and I think what we'll do just for reading, we're not going to do much more Hebrew in Iyov. This is the last parak we're doing in Hebrew for like a very, very long time. So we'll just go around the table, and if you don't want to read, you don't have to read. Okay? No? Okay, Leah, go ahead.
And it was on that day the angels came to stand before God.
Yep.
And the Satan came with them to stand before God.
Yeah, now, there are subtle differences in here that matter. Okay, this sounds like the first parak. Can you find, this is like one of those things in like kids magazines, can you spot the difference? Can you spot the difference between the opening pasuk of this and then in parak Aleph? Yeah, Eliana? The last three words, right? So in this version, it says, the Satan also came among them to present themselves before Hashem. Whereas in the first parak, it just said among them.
Right.
Okay, right, good. So this time, the Satan is presenting himself before Hashem, okay? Why does that matter? We won't find out for another couple months. Okay, we're gonna, I forgot if I told you the game plan. I told you the large game plan, but we're reading this as a mashal right now, but we're not decoding the mashal until after we do all the Rambams with all the background info where he explains it. And then we'll revisit this in light of the Rambams. So we're not gonna find out what this means until like months from now. Okay, so you have to be patient. All right, Ayala, go ahead.
Where did you come from?
Yep.
And Satan answered Hashem, he said, Mi shut ba'aretz u'mehisalif ba. Oh.
This is the one you read last time, right?
Yeah. From like going around.
Yeah, that's the mishalech and wandering, right? Wandering there and walking back on it. Now, what any differences between this and the last time? Yes, right. So the last time you said me'ayin tavo, which means where did you come from? Here is e mizeh tavo, which place did you come from? What's the just in English, like what's the difference between those two questions? Where did you come from and which place did you come from? First is more general, right? Okay, good. First one's like I have no idea where you came from. Second one is I might have a general idea, but I want to know the exact place you came from. Okay, why does this make a difference? We don't know. We'll find out in a couple of months. Okay, Elisha, go ahead. Well, you don't want to, okay, sorry. Eliana, I just didn't hear what you said. Yeah, Eliana, no? Rachel, no? Emily, go. Not of day, but of. Yep.
Put your attention, I guess.
Yep.
To my.
And this is a question, right? This is a rhetorical question. Have you paid attention? Have you?
Right. Have you paid attention to my servant Iyov, because he is not like anyone else in the land?
Yep.
He's a no blemish kind of guy who.
Yes, no blemish kind of guy.
And fears Hashem.
So far, is this the same or different? Same, yeah. Close. He continues to machazik. So the shorish is chazak, right? Anyone know what lahachazik is? To hold, right? So he's still holding. So tumato is the noun for Tom from before.
Oh.
He's holding on to his no blemishness. Okay, right? He's still holding to his clinging to his wholesomeness.
Okay.
A couple words back. Va.
Oh, right. No, that's
No,
not
there's two more words.
This is me,
Yeah.
bro.
Okay, do you guys know what a Macy's is? Not Macy's, the department store, but yeah, Macy's Mediach, yeah. Yes, right. Specifically for which, you know, which avodah, right? So, do you know what the word Macy's literally means, or lahasis? Is to entice or to trick or to like seduce. So, vatasiseni means you tricked me, Bo, regarding him.
Oh, right. Okay. About hinam to
Bala, swallow.
swallow his
And then chinam we had before,
yeah, we did.
like sinas chinam
Yeah.
or achinam yari lakim, Iyov yari lakim.
Is like
Anyone remember? Yeah, basis of free. So what do you think it means here? You entice me to swallow him chinam without any reason. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. So so that's what Hashem is saying to the Satan now, right? Have you seen my servant Iyov? And that's clearly rhetorical because, like, yeah, obviously he saw him. He messed with his stuff, but you tricked me into swallowing him up for no reason, right? Does that sit well with you? No. Right? Why not? You can't trick Hashem, right? So again, this is yet another example of how this is clearly like a mushal. Hashem doesn't actually get tricked by people. He doesn't actually like get mad at the Satan for like tricking him. Okay, this is all mushal. Yeah. So what's Hashem's point though to the Satan? He's still good, right? Like, look what you made me do. Your test failed. Okay.
So give him everything back.
Wouldn't that be nice? Okay. All right. So now the Satan has a response. Ayla?
Bayan hasatan as Hashem vayomer, or ba'ad, or b'chol asher le'ishikim ba'ad nasham. And Satan answered Hashem saying,
Yeah, or with an ayin. Oh yeah, it is leather. Skin is skin and leather are the same words in Hebrew. So or ba'ad or. Close. Skin in exchange for skin, or in place of skin. Yeah. Not the same meaning here, but similar phraseology.
and everything that a man has,
Good.
he gives
Yep.
God nasham because of his soul, for
Yeah.
his soul.
Yeah, in exchange for his soul, in exchange for his soul, in exchange for his life. Now, this is something that this is a phrase that's very perplexing. There's not a consensus on what this means. If you were to interpret this, what do you think the Satan is saying? And this is his response to Hashem, right? Hashem says, "You made me swallow him for no reason," and the Satan says, "Skin exchange for skin, and everything a man has, he will give in exchange for his life."
So basically still doing this because he's afraid of punishment, like about his life now.
Okay, yeah. So Satan is now going to push the stakes a little bit higher and say that Iyov.
Him too.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, right, because that would kind of defeat the purpose, right? Okay, yeah. But any guesses as to what skin for skin means? No one knows, by the way. So you're
You killed his thingies.
yes. By things you mean sons and daughters and animals. Yeah, yeah, right, yeah.
So now he needs, early he messed with the things, his possessions, so now he needs to mess.
Yeah. So you're getting the drift of it, right? Which is that like the Satan's basically saying like, yeah, because all I did was touch his stuff, but I didn't touch him, right? I didn't reach him. The Malbim gives an explanation. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's like the most complete explanation I found. He says basically a person has two skins. Okay, there's their skin, and then there's their garment, their possessions, their house, like their externals. There's like skin is the thing that like keeps your insides from coming in contact with the outsides, right? So there's like the skin on your body, and then there's the stuff on top of your skin. So the Satan's point, according to the Malbim, is basically all you did was take away his outer skin, but if you afflict his actual skin, then we'll see what happens. And yeah,
You could always replace his skin. Is that what it means?
not that he'll replace it, but that he would, a man would, if you gave him a choice, which skin do you want me to afflict? The man will always say, take everything I have, just don't touch my own skin. Okay? That's what the Malbim says. So that's the weird thing, right? Because this does not seem to apply to children. You can see how it applies to possessions.
Right.
Yeah. Now, the reason why the place where the mom is getting this from is from what is going to happen to Iyov in a few psukim. Okay, so let's read on. Leah, go ahead. Oh, this is still the Satan sentence.
However, send your hand down.
Yeah.
Please send your hand. The God et atzmo and reach.
Yeah, so this is still from Naga in mess with, or literally touch, but like mess with his self.
Esposro, meat.
Yeah, his flesh. Yeah, not his like steak that's like sitting there waiting to be cooked, but his like his flesh. Yeah.
Is it not your face that he should touch?
Right, which it means in this context.
Won't he bless you?
Won't he bless you to your face? Yeah. Okay. So now he's saying basically, if you afflict Iyov's actual self, his flesh, so then he will bless Hashem. Right? He'll curse. Okay. So what do you think Hashem's going to do? Yep. Okay. Go ahead, Ayala.
Vayomer Hashem al hasatan, Hashem says to Satan, Hino v'yadecha af es nafsho shemar. Behold, he's in your hands,
Yep.
but his soul you should.
Exactly, right? Preserve, guard his soul, right? So don't, which means practically don't kill him, right? So you can do whatever you want to him, just don't kill him. Or Iyov. Yeah. Okay, so then...
that's what you get for being a great servant of Hashem. He shows you off and then you get...
Right. It seems like it's not worth it, right? Yeah. Okay. Emily, go ahead. Yep. From before Hashem, good. So Yach here is from like Makkah, like Lahakot. Yeah, so he struck Iyov. Yeah, that's a Pesach word that you should recognize from Pesach.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, bad boils. Yeah, so kaf, you usually associate kaf with which part of the body?
Half.
No, in Hebrew,
The palm.
the palm, right? So what would be the kaf raglo?
The soul.
The sole of his foot, right? The sole of his foot? Yeah, you can guess it from context because it doesn't show cod code. Yeah, right to his top of his head, right to his scalp. I think literally. Yeah. Okay, so he's covered in boils. Right, boils are not fun, and it's going to give a little bit of more of a description.
So
Yeah, go ahead, Ayala. So this one's not actually Horesh. This is Cheres. So he took A. Anyone know what Cheres is? Comes up in sometimes in Chumash. Cheres. I decided intentionally to use the fancy English word. Here's you're gonna get a word of the day later. Okay, but here's a word of the day. Yeah. What is it? What would you guess a potsherd is?
Is this the angel or Iyov himself?
Iyov himself.
Oh, like when you like.
Maybe like a thing of water, or like a thing to like a kind of cream to set up.
No, good guess. But what in the English word potsherd?
Sounds like a bowl.
Break it into two. Nope. But you're close. I mean, so it's a what is so it's a sherd of pot. What does sherd sound like? A shard. So potsherd is like a broken piece of pottery. Okay.
Scrape.
Yes.
I was thinking that, but I was like,
Yeah. Go ahead. That's what you're about to read. You go ahead. Scrape himself with.
But who Yoshe B'Tachah Ephraim, he sat in like the ground.
Yeah. So Aphir, there's Afar is dust. Aphir is ashes. Okay. Now you might wonder, why did he sit in the ashes? That's a weird thing. Yeah, it helps the boils. So I forgot which of the Mefarshim says this. I think this is also the Malbim. He says that there were two kinds of boils that he had. He had dry boils on the upper half of his body and pussy boils on the lower half. So he had to sit in ashes to soak up the pus. It is, yeah. And then the dry boils were the scratchy, irritating ones. Okay, so miserable experience. Right. No, the medicine was.
Wait, it wasn't love. Is God telling him that he's allowed to touch him or not?
That he is allowed to touch his flesh, but not, but as long as he preserves his life.
Okay.
So don't kill him. Yeah. Okay, Leah, go ahead.
Oh,
Now comes his wife.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tomer Levishto, and his wife said to him, Odecha machazek v'tumatacha b'reif Elokim v'mi.
Va. Last word again. Va.
Mamut.
Yeah.
Okay. Still, you hold strong
Yep.
to your wholesomeness.
Yep. Or your no blemishness, as Emily would say.
And you bless God and die.
Yeah. Bless God and die. Now, there are two ways to understand her statement, bless God and die.
Oh, meaning you're blessing God and still like you're.
Ah.
What when you bless God, the result is.
Oh, okay, good. So one way to say it is last time you suffered a bunch of stuff and you blessed God and now look what happened. Why don't you bless him again and maybe he'll kill you? Right? It's a very like sarcastic, snarky thing. And then what would be the other way to read her phrase of bless God and die?
Bless God, die.
Okay, that's true. I wouldn't class that here, yeah. And maybe the other way is curse, right? Maybe just curse him already and die. In other words, like clearly God is trying to get you to curse him. Just do it to get it over with. Okay, so that was her one line. Okay, I don't know how much she got paid in her contract for like making that appearance. Probably not getting a supporting actress awards now. Okay, so then here's his response to her. Who are we up to, Ayala? Or did you? Yeah, go ahead.
Vayomer ilaha kedaber achat hanirkalo. And he said to her, like the words of one of the dead bodies.
So you're thinking nevela, right? I never thought about that. So nevela is a carcass. Do you know what a naval is? Like as a person?
Disgusting.
Yeah, a disgusting person, right? Probably related, right? So kidaber achas hanaval is tidaberi. Well, so what?
Like you're calling me to do.
Yeah, you are speaking like a scoundrel woman, a villainous woman, a disgusting woman. Okay, so he's like scolding her here.
Gam hatov nekabel meisal kem v'eshara lo nekabel b'chozo lo.
And pause there. Saying so that's a question he's asking. Gam es hatov nakabel me'esakim v'esara lo nakabel.
So the good I'll accept from God, but not the bad.
Yeah, right. The good I'll accept the God and not accept the bad. But here, it really is amazing. Like everything you say, all your reactions are exactly the opposite, right? So he sounds like a good guy, but then read this last line there. Yeah,
So in all this, he didn't stand with his word.
yeah, with his lips, right? What did it say last time at the end of Perek Aleph? He didn't sin, period. What does it imply?
He's just slowly going off the bar.
Yeah, slowly going out there.
Head.
Yeah, well, in his head, exactly.
It's ironic because he was the one who was
Yeah.
bringing Carbon out for sins of.
Ah, good. Never thought about that before. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's good. So see what I mean? Like he's acting. It's kind of like what do you call it? When people accuse others of a fault that they themselves have inside, projecting. Yeah, it's.
No, it's worse.
Yeah, it is a form of projection. Yeah, there's a term I'm looking for it. I can't find it. But yeah, he's accusing her of saying inappropriate things, but he is harboring inappropriate thoughts inside. Yeah. Also, here's another point, by the way, that I don't know whether you tell me whether you buy this or not. Okay. Summarize Iyov's question to her in your own words. Like, what's his point there? Yeah, Emily.
We only like take the good that Hashem does, but if he does something bad, like we rarely leave him.
Right, exactly, right. You got to take the bad along with the good, right? So that's what it sounds like you're saying. But the Malbim says he throws in this word gam. Shall we also accept the good from God and not accept the bad? And it's weird because the word also doesn't really belong.
Oh, maybe he's saying that like, all the other stuff is from me, so like should we also accept?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you could take it that way. Yeah, you could take it that way. The Malbim takes it another way. Again, I'm undecided about whether I like this interpretation or not. He says Iyov is kind of implying that there is more bad than good. Because when you have two things and you say this and also this, they sold me a car and also an air freshener. The also is like the minor portion, whereas the main thing is the bigger portion. So Malden is saying that like On one level, Iyov is saying, should we accept the good and not accept the bad? But the fact that he says, and also accept the good and not the bad, kind of implies that the bad is the bigger portion, and the good is just like the minor portion. For him, definitely, right? Well, you mean right now it is, right? But certainly up until, if you ask Iyov up until now, how has God been treating you? He'd say very good, right? Yeah. So take it or leave it, but definitely this last part is he sinned with his lips. He did not sin with his lips. And then Rashi points out, I didn't include this on your source sheet because it's 3 words, of belibo chata, but he sinned in his heart, okay, or in his mind. All right, so as Ayala said, he's slowly going off the derech. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Who we up to now? Emily, right? Go ahead.
What? Oh yeah. Vayishma'u Shloshah Eov, and he heard the 3 bad things.
So Yishma'u. Yishma is he heard. Yishma'u is they heard.
They heard the 3 bad.
This is Rea, as in like we have to l'reacha kamocha. Re'im ahubim. Friends. So
his 3
he has 3 friends heard. Yeah.
Okay. Kahara Ahazo as all the bad.
Yep.
Haba'ala Ve'vo ish mimkomo Elifaz Hakimani. And a guy came from his place.
Yeah, so each man came from his place.
Each man came from his place. Elifaz Hakimani. Ubil Dad Sufin.
Yep.
Vayavadu Yachtav Lavo Lamu Lo Velenachama.
Yeah, now va'adu is from the same word as moed or vad, like the vad of a city. Moed, it is interesting. Moed does mean established time, but the shoresh of va'ed is to gather. Because on the Moadim you gather, or a council is how you use it, like the Vod of rabbis. So they gather together. Yeah, lanud is being used in a weird way here. So here it means literally it means like to wander to him, or some say it means that nude. Oh, this is okay. If this were a word of the day, nod. What would Emily say it would mean? To nod. So some actually say that. Some actually say it means to nod, because when you come to comfort somebody, you comfort them. So let's say you go to a shiva house, right? So one thing you might do is comfort them, but then the other thing you might do is just like kind of like nod your head in sympathy, you know? So that's what one of the Mefarshim says. So I don't really know. The point is that they're going to him to comfort him. Okay. Ayala, go ahead. This part's also sad. Yeah.
And they lifted their eyes like to a distance.
Yeah.
And they didn't recognize him.
Yeah. Now, why do you think they didn't recognize him?
The boil.
He's so covered in boils that they couldn't even tell it was him. Okay.
And they raised their voice, they cried out, and they ripped their coats. And they put like dirt on their head.
Yeah, they threw dust over there. Yeah, okay. So that's not going to make him feel so nice, right? That they're crying and they're weeping and they're tearing their garments, and Well, okay, so okay, good. I was gonna ask that later on, right? So it's very interesting. It's almost like they're sitting shiva for him. It could be for his kids. I mean, it says though it's right. Yeah, I guess you're right. It doesn't say that it's for him, but it is upon seeing him. You know, it's they're not even at the point where they've gone to be with him yet. This is just like from afar. And then the last part, go ahead, Leah.
They went to sit on the land for 7 days and 7 nights.
Yeah, they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights.
The angel very loved Davar They didn't speak at all.
Yep, no one said anything to him.
Because they saw that he was very angry.
A cave.
Oh, yeah.
Pain was very great, right? So they're even sitting shiva, right? Like literally sitting shiva, and this is what's the thing about not speaking to him? Right. Well, so what is that? What halacha in Avelis does that remind you of? Yeah.
You can't talk to someone who's sitting shiva until they
Exactly. You have to wait for them to initiate it, right? So, I don't know if we learn out anything from this, or if like this is reflecting that the pre-existing halacha. But that's so. In other words, they are doing all the actions of shiva, right? Whether they're doing it for him or for his kids, they're ripping their garments, they're crying, they're sitting on the ground, they're not talking with him. Yeah. Okay. And then we got 2 more pasuk. Yeah. Go ahead, Ayala. Oh, sorry. One more pasuk. Yeah, one more pasuk. I included the last pasuk as a teaser. Did I include the last pasuk as a teaser? Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, was it Ayala? Yeah. Yeah.
Achar came to After this, Iyov opened his mouth.
Yep.
By Kalal at Yomo, and he cursed his days.
He cursed his day. Now, what would you expected him to have done when he opened his mouth?
Bless Hashem.
Yeah, right. Is he should have blessed Hashem?
Oh no, like actually bless.
Oh,
No.
well, that right, or cursed him, right? So he doesn't. He curses his day. Okay, what would you guess it means that he cursed his day?
Then you just think he's having a bad day.
This is such a bad day. No, I mean, if it happened all in one day, then yes. But we're
I think he's trying
the first round of stuff happened on one day, but then it's implied that like the boils were over a long period of time, right? Because his friends heard what happened and they traveled for a very long time. So I think that's what makes your interpretation not work. Just goes over a long period of time. What was that, Emily?
that what's that? He's trying to get around. I don't want to say it.
Okay, so you could say he's just avoiding cursing Hashem, right? So what we'll find out, and we will have to leave this for next week, is he curses the day he was born. Okay.
Don't want to live anymore.
So that's going to be what it seems like, but we'll see that he actually is. It's not that he doesn't want to live going forward; it's that he wishes he were never born in the first place. Yeah.
Oh, because
He kind of resents God.
Right.
Let him live.
But what's very interesting is he's not going to say anything bad about God. Yeah. Okay. Let's stop the class now, and then we'll take our break now, and then we'll do English.
Okay.
Yeah. What time is? So let's regroup in like 4 minutes. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. It's 40. I don't know what your clock says. Mine says 42. What's yours say? Okay. I'm gonna stop recording this time. I remember.